Hello everyone, and welcome to Helicon West. That seems loud. Is it okay?
It's awesome. It's good.
Okay, excellent.
Clear.
Good.
Wow.
That's what we like. Helicon West is an uncensored public reading series. We host published authors and community writers to showcase all levels of skill and craft. We welcome open mic readers. We welcome donations to keep Helicon West going. You'll find a sign-up sheet for open mic in the back by the coffee. The coffee is a problem. You have to lift, it doesn't have a pumper tonight, so you have to lift the lid open and then pour it over the sink so that it doesn't spill. And then when you get your coffee, be sure to put a lid on your coffee cup if you're successful with getting coffee without spilling all of it down the sink.
You have to really want it.
Yeah, and it's decaf, so you won't need to worry about staying up all night. After Helicon West, you'll be so excited anyway that you'll want to.
Yeah, right.
Helicon West humbly acknowledges that we are here on the territory of the Northwestern Band of the Shoshone Nation. We are grateful for our sponsors and partners, Sugar House Review, the Logan Library, the USU English Department, Cafe Ibis, and many community volunteers. You can find more information and interviews and posters and all kinds of wonderful things on heliconwest.wordpress.com. A special request, keep the doors closed, please. We are uncensored, and we like to not disturb people too much with our raucous rowdiness and happiness in being here. Tim Keller has an important announcement before we get started. Come on up, Tim.
You can swear all you want, Tim.
We're uncensored.
Make an uncensored announcement, Tim.
No. Thank you, sir. Before I make my announcement, I just wanted to say this is going to be a lot of fun tonight. I have been looking forward to Isaac and Naomi reading all fall, and it's going to be loads of fun. So, I am the president of a writers group called the Writers Gush. Together with the League of Utah Writers and the Fellowship of the Ink, we are doing a writers workshop next Wednesday, October 29th, in this room at 7 p.m. The League of Utah Writers Writer of the Year, David Rodeback, is coming to present, and also local author Eric Bishop, author of the Samaritan's Pistol, is coming to present. It will go an hour and a half. I know both of these gentlemen well. They are dynamic, they are talented. It will be tons of fun. I hope you guys can make it. Thank you, Star, for letting me make that announcement. Isaac, Naomi, you rock.
Yay.
Yeah. And our featured readers tonight are Isaac and Naomi Timm. Isaac and Naomi have been a vital part of our literary community since they arrived here in 2009. Isaac is a historian and a poet. Here's his book bio, a snippet of what he's about. Isaac Timm was raised in Callao, Utah, in the shadow of the Deep Creek Mountains, a remote range in the western desert on the Nevada border. It is also south of Dugway Proving Grounds, where military pilots train in aerial combat and fire live ordnance. Isaac graduated from Utah State University with degrees in history and creative writing. He lives in Logan with his wife Naomi and cats Anne and Dante. He loves the writing community centered around Helicon West. Naomi is a poet and poetry event organizer, a champion of humans and humanities, exuberant and straightforward and unafraid. I'm so glad you are here tonight to listen and hear and enjoy and learn poetry from Isaac and Naomi, two of my dearest writer friends. You'll see why. Here they are, Isaac and Naomi.
We can also adjust the loudness if you need to.
Is it all right? Is
Are
it
we
okay,
getting an echo
Tim?
here?
Is the loudness good?
Might have a little echo there.
How do you adjust?
All right, let me bring it down
Adjust.
just a little bit.
Just a hair.
He's gonna bring it down here, it's just very technical.
We don't like to touch other people's microphones, especially without their consent, so, you know, anyway.
All right.
Okay, so anyway, like you probably already noticed, I'm a giant dork, and so is Isaac, but that's okay. So thank you for being here. The whole point of tonight is just kind of to do a back and forth thing, kind of tell you a little bit about ourselves and our poetry journey, which sounds so fancy. It's not that fancy, at least not for me. Isaac's all fancy. I'm like, whatever. I'm like a raccoon in a dumpster. Let's just be honest, because I write whenever I snatch something, and that's it. Okay, so we're gonna start tonight with an actual like comment and response poem that like really smooshes that together. Anyway, I don't know what that means. We're gonna keep going.
My first poem is How to Love Your Wolfman. If you spot me slinking in your garden or lurking in the barn, do not shoot. If you find me in your bed, love me, but leave before moonlight touches us. If you hear me cry over the prairie, sing to me. If you find my tracks near the river, follow until I cross. Bathe under the field of stars. Do not look among the reeds. Never watch me at nightfall, after the golden hour when sunlight and wheat become a single harvest. Shut the door, lock it firm. Remind yourself of the beast that knows only want. If you hear me howl in the night, light a candle, for I have lost my heart. But do not open the window. I am prowling, hungry, hollow for light. Do not walk under cottonwoods with a heart of flesh, for flesh is too tempting. Walk with a heart full of song. Remind me, hunger isn't all I am.
So,
Use it and hand it back and forth.
Yeah, that works.
okay, all right, okay. It's gonna make this weird, but that's okay. We'll do it. All right, so that poem of Isaac's was inspired by a community writing center prompt. We used to do like things from the Wayland Hand collection, which was like all these weird folklore things. And I've always had a soft spot for like any beast, you know, Frankenstein's monster type creature that feels like an outsider and, you know, needs love. I'm there for it. And so I wrote a response to it, but my original response was more about Isaac and not about the creature he created. And I didn't like it. I've read it, but I didn't like it. So I did, like, very last minute, wrote this new response, which I like better. So, okay, I'm trying to do this. All right. Actually, will you hold this?
Yes?
Okay. Yay, C team. All right, here we go. This is called Let It Be My Choice. Let it be my choice to love you, to find you, hiding in tall reeds. You are more than hunger. I have seen light behind bright blue eyes. You try, yet you cannot hide it from me. You do glow copper at sunset, yet I would see you in shadow. I am not afraid of dark, I live there. I would have us naked, pale as milk, blessed by moonlight, as I hold you to my chest.
All right. And this is,
You want me to hold it for you?
sure,
Oh, I like it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's intimidating. So large, okay. Okay, this one is one of the first I write in the persona of Caliban, and I referred to Naomi as Blind Girl in the Caliban poems, and she responded and wrote, and we wrote several poems back and forth, some of them fairly personal. So this is the first thing, Caliban, it used to be called Caliban and Blind Girl at the Crosswalk, now it's just called Blind Girl at the Crosswalk. He crosses the street, but she lingers. Fearful, though her feet long to cross, she believes the world's small, to only trust your eyes. Once, when she was small, she rushed into the sun fearless, only to have the ground lie, swallow her feet, shatter her like china. So she crosses back to walk the world. So he crosses back to walk the world with her, no longer beast nor timid.
Okay, this is gonna seem like not a direct response to that, but the way it works as a response is, Isaac wrote that poem ages ago, and he came up with his persona, Blind Girl, and I thought that kind of works. So I suffered a lot of trauma, a lot of sexual abuse as an adult, and I was looking for a way to work through that, and I was also looking for a way to explain how, when this happened to me, I didn't feel like a person, right? And so Blind Girl became this way of both talking about a difficult subject and also explaining that I didn't feel like a person. I didn't feel like I had a name or an identity. I was just an object. And so this is my first Blind Girl poem. It is called The Gift. The white roses from graduation are already limp and yellowing in the window of her stepfather's house. This room Blind Girl sleeps in is not hers, not really. Her mother invites Blind Girl over to the trailer she is living in. It's not her trailer either, not really. Blind Girl imagines sitting by the stereo singing Jackson Browne. The trailer is dark when Blind Girl enters, the only light coming from the muted television. The bed is the only place to sit, so Blind Girl perches on the corner of the bare blue mattress. Blind Girl smells her mother's patchouli. It is mixed with something unfamiliar, stale clover cigarettes, oily and cloying. A short man with a dusty beard sits propped against the wall. Mother is beside him. Mother murmurs. The man slides up behind Blind Girl. She feels his thighs enclose her. His voice rumbles as he grabs her breasts. His hands swallow them. Blind Girl freezes, yet when the man lifts the hem of her shirt, she raises her arms. Blind Girl stares dumbly at her new blue bra. Suddenly, she is ashamed to be wearing it. Those clove-scented hands remove the dark fabric. Mother says, "This is Lyndon. He thinks you're beautiful."
This next one is a shift in the
It's
mood.
the total shift.
Total shift in the mood. It's a Caliban poem, but Aaron's is also lighter too. After that one, it's all right.
Don't get worried, guys.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Caliban briefly takes up smoking. Caliban, like tobacco's modality, filled the world with smokers. So he joined up, accessorized, bought the biker jacket with the metal studs, brushed metal Zippo, purchased the cigarettes with the Russian comrade art. So when the beautiful people came for a fix, he would look hip, an extra level of sophistication for their satisfaction. Strangely enough, with a cigarette in his mouth, Caliban always had something to say. A joke, a clever turn of phrase to distract the blonde as they huddled in a group like pigwins, or under an awning, or slouched against the wall like lurkers aiming to pass off secret rocket plans. And he would have continued, by God, how he loved to blow smoke in the faces of budding young Prosperos who marched forthrightly across campus with wagging fingers. Was your judgmental bullshit worth a secondhand smoke? Caliban would return with a smoky sneer. But one night, with the amazing blonde in his dorm, he reached for his coat, but instead grabbed the ash can and got a swallow of 4 days of butts and backwash. He fell over, gasping like a landed fish, and the blonde, trapped and disgusted, leapt over him like a deer in flight as he retched brown evil. It was then Caliban decided smoking wasn't for him.
I love that poem. My poem is not in any way a response to that, but I was trying to find, okay, and I told Isaac, I said, I don't have any funny poems. Like, I make jokes, like I have a poem that's about Lyndon attempting to rape me, but he can't quite, get it going. And I make a joke in that about trying to stuff a mattress back in its bag. And I was like, that's funny, but also like dark and sad. And then I remembered, I actually did write a legit funny poem. So anyway, so yay trauma. But anyway, apparently I can write a somewhat funny poem. So here we go with that one.
Isaac, hold that a little closer.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold it a little closer.
Oh, that's closer.
Yeah, hold it.
I don't think I did. It's weird. Okay, we'll get this going.
We'll figure it out.
All right,
Hopefully
okay.
it's out.
Perfect.
This is called Fuck Bras. Bought a 3-pack. Nobody uses sizes anymore. The wise, all-knowing guide says 3X. They take a month to arrive. The pink one fits okay. The maroon one is too small. Boobs leak out of the bottom. Don't dare try the black one. Tried sports bras for a while. They use sizes at least. I buy a 44 but find I'm really a 48. These shrink, creep up my breasts until I feel the elastic like a pasty on each nipple. One year I ditched them completely. Boobs breathing free. I didn't like the way they lay, spread out like cats in the sun. Uniboob, floppy boob, pinch, squish boob, help.
Yeah.
So I get into the book. This poem used to be called Antiseptic, but they thought Lisa Bickmore, who is the poet laureate of Utah, helped edit this for publication. So she thought prognosis might work a little better. I don't know. I'm just used to calling it antiseptic. So, am I good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prognosis. Hot nurse with such light scrubs, lay your healing hands on me. At 16, I am all goosebumps with bare feet and gown. Hot nurse leans over, smells of lilac. I read the name tag, not nurse, but doctor. I'm embarrassed, such a crumb, assuming all women nurses. Hot doctor with such light scrubs, lay your healing hands on me. She does her test with a rubber hammer, then warm hands in mine, testing my strength, my power, how well I can push and pull. Mel, Becker's muscular dystrophy, no noticeable change. She smiles with her perfect teeth, coyly over note page and leaves. I feel warm and flush. I kick up my feet, almost knock over a tray. She comes back in, very grave. She has caught me now. Punishment. Looking to see if we are alone, she comes in unsure. All those teeth again, but no follow-through to her green eyes. Then she says, I don't know if this has been addressed to you, but it would be unwise for you to have children. There are no changes to your health, I've found. Here's the attending. In comes the boss doctor in his long coat so crisp and white, smiling at her, approving of a hard job so well done by a young doctor. She does not look back when she leaves. Behind her, lilac over antiseptic.
Okay. I did write a satirical response poem to that does exist on the internet, but the thumb drive it was on died. So this is my reminder, guys. Always have like backups and backups of your stuff so you don't lose it. I believe we're on to Isaac again, yes, is that right?
Yeah, this is the part where I read two.
Yeah, this is a lot of Isaac. This section we call a whole lot of Isaac. It's fine.
All right. Okay, we're good. Let me be your memories. Walk with me under redwood trees where fog moves through the ferns like a wandering memory. Let me hold you near the rain-lashed Pacific and we will listen to the wind playing through dune grass. Lie against me under an angry desert sky heavy with thunderheads, and I will protect you with my arms as wind rages against Joshua trees. Let me hold your name, archive the smell of your hair, your eyes tracking rapidly to take in the storm. You will always be safe to shout your name, because I will always be the signal in the fog, the warmth against cold ocean wind they embrace in the storm.
So this is another one of those situations where it was a direct response. Isaac mentions this cool storm that we were watching, so I wrote a poem about that. I believe it was during one of Star's walkabouts, but I can't be sure. So hold that close.
Yes.
And I'll be louder too. Anyway, I don't know. Okay, all right. This is called Outside Caliente. Caliente, Nevada is a very beautiful little town, city, I don't know. But anyway, it's freaking gorgeous. If you haven't been there, look it up. It's, oh my God, it's beautiful. So anyway. All right, Outside Caliente. Dark clouds draw light from salt sand. We pull over, just watching the rain that dries mid-fall. Let this be how we are remembered, loving as fiercely as a desert storm, light and white hot, dark and purple cool, heat and dust. Our hands not ever still, mouths roving, tongues tasting, tan arms drawing light from salt skin. Slow urgency, frantic friction of passing summer.
This, what's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just.
Okay, this next poem is the first love poem I wrote, 2011. It's the first love poem I wrote for Naomi. It's called Let Me Love You Awkward. Let me love you awkward, not composed, but on the floor, pasta boiling. You hold my face between your hands, look for meaning. When pastaroni boils over scalding hands, I laugh into your naked collarbone with no thought of syllable or verse. And this poem is me feeling sorry for myself, and Aaron responds to that. And the next poem, this is called 14 Days of Rain. College of the Redwoods, huddled under a balcony, I drag off my cigarette. Watch a flock of robins hop in the rain as I dream of a frozen December, when I held you near the window and saw the moon reflected in an icy parking lot. I flip the butt, it sails into a bucket like a downed biplane. A robin makes a sound of crackling paper as it shakes water from feathers. This relationship happened too fast, you said, as you peeked around the door frame and told me I couldn't come in. Kicked from my home, I stared at the asphalt of a Cedar City convenience store waiting for the Greyhound. I rolled north to Salt Lake City and into Oakland, pressed to the window by a fat man who barked about a rambling ranch house he'd buy in Carson City. The robins that flew by, ones and twos to the coast before the snow, now flock across the quad in their stilted, jerky movements. Before today, I've never seen more than one. Now they troop like red flags under fog. All week, I have been flirting with a married woman. She stuck out her tongue, and I told her, it's only polite if you share. But she called my bluff, whispered in my ear, where is a place we can go? I stammered, my cool blown. I could think only of you. She smirked, disappeared, damp cloth clinging to her shoulders as she faded in the rain. A robin regards me with being black eyes, tears a worm in two.
All right. So one of the cool things about being married and writing poems together is we get to sort of look back on our lives, right? And so when Isaac and I first met and had like a very sort of passionate meeting or whatever, like I adored him immediately and thought I was going to marry him. But we didn't know anything about each other's past, and so we both had issues with rejection and things like that. but he had no idea that what had happened to me, and he also had no way of knowing that I thought I wasn't a person, right? Because I was still in that mindset of just being like nothing. And so he's writing very honestly about how he felt in that moment, because he doesn't know anything about my life experience, and so this is about kind of the person I was and why I wasn't able to do whatever. But anyway, I think that's kind of cool that we get to have that relationship and talk, I don't know. Anyway, something like that. This is called Moonlight. I was not always blind girl. Once, I was a girl who loved Darth Vader. A girl who had 3 My Little Ponies and a pink plastic stable they slept in. So much was stolen from me, so much I didn't know how to keep. Afraid to be alone, I gave and gave, sank into the cloying and clinging of Mother and Lyndon. I see the moon in my memory. She is fat, full, falling through the window onto my bed of blankets. The moon knows me. Her light holds me when I cry. She carries my name wrapped in silver silk. Every time I find moonlight, she will pull the shining bundle from her white cloak, show me who I am. Her warm blue reminds me that there is always something lovely, even in the dark, even when alone. When I can hardly breathe under his heavy body, when I scream a whisper in the dark room, my eyes search for moonlight, find it in a white streetlight shining through the window of this stale hotel. I reach for my name. Someday, I will be Naomi, a powerful cosmic goddess, moon-chosen, badass bitch.
And these are 2 poems about something very difficult for the first part of our marriage. This is called Alexander. Alexander, what a list of goofy baby names. Victor, Billy Bob, Annie Mae, we made the early spring in February. You smiled all the time for weeks. The North Coast was bright. Then you got sick. My mother called it the crud. A week passed before I took you to the clinic. As 15 minutes turned into an hour, I knew his name had been Alexander.
That poem gets a lot of response, and I think it's because a lot of men don't really write about miscarriage. For maybe obvious reasons, I don't know. But by way of explaining this next poem, we actually had 3 miscarriages. One was in 2000, and that was Alexander. He would have been 24 this year. The other was in 2003, and that was Benjamin, and he would be 22. And the third was Bethany, who was in 2007. I remember the exact date of Bethany. It was January 19th, and it was around 3:30 p.m. And I lay down on the couch in the sun, and I just cried and begged her not to go. But anyway, so we went through all of that alone because his family sucks and didn't give a crap, Anyway, I tell you all of that just so you understand, I don't know. Also, we're weirdos, so when we were practicing this, Isaac was like, woo, now we get to dead baby poems. And we laughed because that's who we are. We are cracked in the head. But I wanted to explain that so that you knew why this baby had a different name, and to honor Bethany, who I haven't been able to write about because I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, this is called Snapdragon. Deep green leaves dip toward earth, not drooping, just resting the afternoon away. Small new leaves wave as I water. The flowers come, flaming yellow, limp popcorn, fragrant kernels, burst, curl, die, but oh, fuzzy buds promise yellow flame again. I name you Audrey too. I think I could be your Seymour. If I am careful, I can keep you alive. I never give you blood, yet you grow. I named the baby Benjamin, thought I could be his mother. If I was careful, I could keep him alive. I gave him blood, yet he didn't grow. Instead, he withered, took my heart with him.
I wrote this poem. This is one of the first ones I wrote, and it took hours. This poem, I must have put 70, 80 hours into it, every word, because I was entering it in a contest in 2011 to the League of Utah Writers, and it is the only poem I sent in, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get an honorable mention. And it got first place in the non-rhyming category, and I have to say that it killed.
Yeah.
There was not a dry eye in the house. So it was worth it. And this is for Naomi. This is Painting Untitled for Naomi. Give me the word to paint, the word, okay, and then I mess it up. Painting Untitled. Give me the words to paint with, umber and sienna. Prepare a blank space. Sharpen me a dark pine wood brush. Let me, with deliberate strokes, sketch a lifetime. Fill the space with cerulean sky, dun grass, distances. Then, with gentle hand, render the fine details of smiles, embraces, your warm naked back, the scent of your hair. With broad blotter and palette knife, let me recreate a childhood, one with fathers and open summers without stairs. In strokes of vermilion, let me be fearless, for I will chase away all doubts. Let me paint over the cross-hatched grays with deep cobalt that salves your skin from the harsh tawny sun, like deep water. And when all my brushes float in amber, with the easels down and this work is within its frame, let these tired hands rest in yours.
And that, my friends, is love.
Me.
That's us. So thank you for coming. There is open mic, so don't leave. Like, this isn't a go away thing. We also have books, yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
And yeah, so I don't know.
We'll clap.
And, yeah. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, I'll just.
No, I'm not doing that.
It's
too scary.
It's
too intimidating.
do. Does it go
Alright,
in
okay.
like this? You cut it? I think you go sit down now.
Yes, we do, Miss Tim.
Hello.
You wanna go and sit in the audience part now?
Yep.
Yeah. No, we were just gonna stare at the people meeting.
Make us
Good.
read between you.
Yeah, we were just gonna stare at you.
Snuggle up close. Put your arm around each of us.
Shake our hands, of
Yeah.
course, we don't like it.
My favorite way to be looked at, just approvingly.
All right, that was beautiful. Okay. I love all of those poems. The blind girl at the crosswalk, the gift, Caliban briefly takes up smoking, funk bras, prognosis. I still like antiseptic as the title because that's the one that I reveled in every time you read it. And I
Yes,
still
me
do. Hot nurse, hot doctor. And let me be your memory, and outside Caliente, let this be how we're remembered. Let me love you awkward, 14 days of rain, moonlight. So Naomi, oh, your name, moon shows and badass bitch. Yeah. And his name had been Alexander. And Snapdragon took my heart with him. And Painting Untitled for Naomi. It's beautiful, thank you both. We only have 6 open mic readers, and so if you want to be an open mic reader, then you can let me know after these first 3, who will be Pam, Star, and Gail.
Yeah, Pam.
I've titled this, No Wonder I Missed You. 3 years without extra worry. It's been 3 years without extra trips to Ogden. 3 years of days off spent driving to and from or worrying where you are. No letters, no calls, no texts, no hateful, hurtful comments, none of your unique art, no discussions about rock bands, no swimming and diving, no Pine View or Hobbs Hollow, no Thanksgiving, Christmas, or birthdays, no worries, fears, or regrets. No wonder I miss you. I miss the 12-year-old you, the jokester, the prankster, the funny 21-year-old you, getting into art and music, the 30-year-old you, as a young involved father and husband. You are my brother. No wonder I miss you.
Am I ever glad I didn't choose to read the sad one tonight? I'm already. I'm gonna have to do an underwear one, following your bra one, okay? And that way I won't be up here crying too. That was really gorgeous, Pam. This is called Outfits. In a black and white 1950s photograph, I am 3 years old, wearing only a pair of white cotton panties, no top. I'm outside in the dirt yard, bare feet. Barefoot until I was old enough to ride the bus to the 2-room school, first grade. No kindergarten for Riverdale, Idaho farm kids, unless you were Leah Lewis, whose family had a big fancy farm on the flat above the river. Moss and Carmen Lewis had 20 cows and hundreds of acres of farmland with lots of equipment, unlike our 6 or 8 cows, our 160 acres, one little tractor, a baler, and a rake. Lynn went to kindergarten in town in new store-bought dresses. From 1st to 4th grade, I wore 2 plaid school dresses per year, sewed by Mother in her spare moments as a dawn-to-dark, hard-working farm wife. 2 plaid dresses of different colors, but made from the same pattern. Short box sleeves, plain button-up bodice, a collar, and a skirt gathered at the waist that skimmed my knees in a modest flare. Nothing extra. Nothing but a pair of cotton panties underneath, too young for the extravagance of slip or undershirt. Plain white ankle socks, a pair of brown leather buckle-up shoes. Mother took us shopping for shoes big enough to grow into by the time the school year ended. Then it was bare feet again. It was old brown shoes until Mother used her egg money to buy me a pair of shiny Mary Janes for Easter. Oh, Easter. How I loved that holiday. It was when Mother brought out the Easter dresses she had sewn in her spare moments, when my brothers and my little sister and I were in school. Froggy, itchy, flocked organza with a rounded neckline and a big fluffy skirt. Swiss dotted, or with velvety appliques in a net-like overlayer. I felt like a princess, the princess of fairy tales who worked her way through sore trials to achieve the luxurious extravagance of princessdom. By the next Easter, dress worn to Cinderella tatters another new dress, another new pair of shoes with new anklets, new panties. I was a new girl every time Jesus rose again. In the 5th grade, I transitioned from 2 plaid and 1 organza per year to skirts, blouses, and sweaters. I lost my chubbiness and won the argument with Mother about styling my own hair. Discovered I had a waistline. Designed a wardrobe to mix and match a different outfit every day. Tied my skirts and blouses together with a plastic belt and dyed my shoes with Rit. Felt like a town girl instead of a farm girl. When I got to 6th grade, I learned to sew. I told Mother I wanted to buy my own patterns. By 7th grade, I was constructing outfits that suited my sense of 60s style. I cut and ironed and sewed boat neck blouses and empire dresses and A-line skirts, the clothes I'd yearned for in fabrics Mother found hard to afford. Dad died when I was 11, and Mother went to work, and she thought my outfits were scandalous, especially the pair of ragged cut-off jeans I wore at age 13. They still fit when I was 53. At 53, I graduated to a middle-aged professional woman's style, and in a moment of extravagance, I gave those cut-offs away.
Okay, this poem is maybe happy and sad. But I think it's kind of neutral, but it's kind of in the spirit of Halloween. It's called Rent House. The basement was spooky, my children said. The locked room where her things were stored. The sullen mine of the coal room. The useless coal. The growling octopus of a new furnace. Running past doors, quick through the hall, to the big empty room. Cool concrete, smooth floor to roller skate on. She lived above us, a floor we did not use. An empty bedroom above the small town street. A light bulb dim closet. Litter of spools, spare buttons, cotton remnants cut for a quilt. And the dress, long and slender, like Ginger Rogers. A sequined sea green crepe, so self-possessed on its hanger. It is true, she once lay sick and dying up there. Sewing machine locked in the basement. Husband between with the housekeeper. My children said they could hear her. Of this they seemed not afraid. The footfalls, the thumps, the watery sounds that ghosts make. Her refusal to leave without her say.
Oh, thank you, Gail. Anybody else want to read? Okay, then these are our last three. Jan, Erin, and Teresa. Come on up.
Hello. Hi, Jan. 2 years ago, when I was new to Helicon West, we were meeting over at the Thatcher Young, because this library was being remodeled. And it was right before Halloween, and there was a workshop on how to write a Gothic poem. So I wrote one, and that's what I'm going to read tonight. It's just called Gothic Poem. Waiting, ever watchful, for you to appear, lurking in the shadows, not to be seen for fear. Knowing your schedule, where you'll be and when, shadowing your movements time and time again. Will I have nerve to speak, to make myself known, or to stay invisible? Please see me, I moan. Watching as you spend your day, oblivious to me, seeing you cavort with others, happy as can be. Sometimes you have one partner, how I envy him, as you stroll hand in hand, I alone in the light so dim. How do I approach you? Confidence I do not own. Your radiance outshines you. Please see me, I moan. One day, as you emerge in your gayness and light, I step out from the dark and come into your sight. I marvel at your surprise. I watch your mouth gasp. The dagger goes in smoothly. You see me at last.
Hello. I have 3 quotes for you guys today. They're all things I wrote in the fall, one of which I wrote today. So the first is called Fall, Fall, Fallen. Trees bleed onto the ground, leaving trails of red underfoot, waiting for white bandages to heal the scars and numb them to sleep. A roof of black and gruff with texture shrugs off cold blankets until it is overwhelmed, frozen without the sun's reinforcements. Drips of semi-solid water swan dive off every edge, each jump praying it can catch itself on a jagged icicle before it hits the ground. It's awfully quiet as the snow comes to bury the already dead. This second poem is entitled The End. If the world were to end tomorrow, what would you do? Travel one last time, drink away the fear? Sometimes I think I would do that, to spend the last moments of my life for myself. But I know, oh I know, if the world ended tomorrow, I would spend today telling you that we would live forever, so you wouldn't be sad. But mostly so, you wouldn't live your last moments for yourself without me. Maybe I am not who I think I am and who I tell you I am. Maybe I am selfish to the end. This final poem is the one I wrote today, and I had a lot of like D words in my head, so it's just a lot of alliteration. And it's entitled Folding. Dewdrop drunk, drowning and dying, dipping, doting, desire in death, desire for dark, despair like dust in a desk drawer, darkness distended from dim doorways and dollar signs, dragged from diaries, dear, dreary, driven disgust, drove from drowning desires in death, desire for dark, while drunk on dialectical dewdrops.
All right. Years ago, Star used to do these really kick-ass poetry walkabouts that Naomi mentioned. And one of them, I think, must have been right before Halloween, so we had kind of a spooky, haunted prompt. It was no Gothic writing workshop, but it'll have to do us. So I wrote this when we were a decade ago when I was in grad school. They have us all in one building, the Helicon West building, for English, and so I reference our offices up there. And then I'll read a second poem, so bear with me. This is On the Noises in the Office, Late Nights. 1. They intoned, "It's haunted, you know," and we knew only that they meant to quake our hearts or prick our necks at the back with fright when we worked there late nights. They were the wise, the second-year vets. We couldn't reject what they said, though we tried. 2. The Helicon West building, 1918. Neither yet named so, nor yet part of our Utah State University. No classes for English. No, a military barracks. Training grounds for fighters going rounds in the first brawl for all the world. How many men? They were men only then. Walked the first floors of these halls, worked there late nights, dreaming without the foresight to dream of the violence ahead, of the ghosts they would wait to find in themselves by that war's end. 3. We worked there late nights, ate gummy worms under fluorescent lights, graded papers and wrote them in a cycle that made our eyes see things we dared not report to each other. The stories they told, those wise, those second-year vets, shined like laptop screens in our minds. But the fun of all-nighters and writing parties dissipated when the rest of them went home to quiet beds and I stayed upstairs alone. Yes, alone, grading just 2 more papers. Why not alone? And the noises on the landing couldn't be my friends gone home. I'm there alone. And the rain on the office roof wasn't falling, not like my bravado. And maybe, once alone, I heard someone call down the upstairs hall and looked to find my mind had tricked me. Maybe the stories they told us to tease us, to try us, were true. And I have one more spooky one, if I can find it. Oh, if I can find it. This one's a lot more recent. Sunday morning Medusa. Tangled rage of snakes, wriggling ringlets, unruled by comb or man. None gaze upon her face, aglow with dawn and lemon-scented soap. She brews dark roast, enfolded in a blanket, reading the final pages of a Margaret Atwood novel. Now a stir disquiets the calm lair, waking sounds announce you. For the love of gods, do not arrest her peace with your manly needs. She will harden you to stone when she pleases.
Oh, thank you, that was great. Wonderful poems tonight. I'm announcing next time's Helicon West. It's Philip Watts Brown, who used to come and read poetry for us at Helicon West, and then he moved away, and now he's got a book published, and it's called Boy with Flowers in His Mouth. He will be here on November 13th, along with Patrick Ramsey, who owned Happy Magpie Bookstore in Ogden. Great little bookstore. It's gone by the way of many bookstores these days. They're hard to keep afloat. And his new book is called Butterflies Are Rare. So thank you for the open mic. Thank you, Isaac and Naomi. Please, they will sign books for you. You can just roll on back up here when you're ready and bring your books. And let's see, hang on. Is there anything else I need to tell you?
If you can, put a chair or two away to help out.
Thank you, Naomi. Put the chairs away if you can, please. Naomi's going to be busy helping Isaac signing books. And thank you for coming. It was a wonderful evening.